Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Janos, creator of Pinoy Tech Dad. Do you notice anything cool about my shirt? Well, if you're a fan of Adventure Time, this is actually the Ice King right here. And what does the Ice King have? A crown. Just like the phone that we're gonna be talking about. This is the Poco X3, and it rightfully deserves to be crowned as the new mid-range king. And I'll tell you more about it after this intro. Right, so first off, here's a quick unboxing so you guys can see what's included in the package. So it's pretty much a typical packaging from the Poco brand. You get a free jelly case, so it's quite soft right here. You get the paperwork and documentation. And then of course you have a 33-watt fast charger and a USB Type-C cable. Now moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at the phone's design and its ports. First off, at the bottom, we have a down-firing speaker, a microphone, a USB Type-C port, and the headphone jack. So it's still here. And then on the right side, we have the power button where you can find the fingerprint scanner as well. And we have the volume rockers on the same side. And then it gets exciting on the left side because we finally find out this actually has an expandable memory. So we have a SIM card slot and a memory card slot. Now at the top, we have a noise cancelling microphone and the infrared blaster. You actually get a notification LED here, and it's found inside of the speaker grill on the top. And also at the front, we have a 20 megapixel punch hole camera. Now, if you saw the leaks, you might think that the back portion right here is actually textured, but it's not. These are just actually lines printed at the back, so they're still very smooth. So there's no texturing here. So it's a huge fingerprint magnet. And then we have a quad camera setup, which is super unique. This is the first time that I've seen a camera module like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lenses right there. And then we also have an LED flash made to look like it's also a part of the camera module. So that's about it for the design of the Poco X3. Now here are some of its key specs. Now let's talk performance on the Poco X3. This is equipped with a brand new Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G processor. Just think of this processor as an improved Snapdragon 730G and a Snapdragon 720G. Overall, I think it performs just the same as other mid-range phones. I didn't really notice any huge improvement when it comes to performance. Now, the huge difference is when it comes to the heating issue. Now, with the Snapdragon 730G on the Poco X2, I had terrible heating problems when playing games. Now, with this one, that issue is non-existent. But let's talk more about that in the gaming portion. I've had no issues using this for social media. I use this mainly for Facebook and Facebook Messenger, and I didn't encounter any issues in that. Checking Gmail, browsing the internet, it was all smooth. And before I forget, the Antutu benchmark points that I got for this is around 281,000. The Antutu benchmark result is not gonna blow your mind away. It performs almost similarly with the Snapdragon 720G, and that's okay because the Snapdragon 720G performs really well in terms of overall performance and as well as for gaming. So in that aspect, I think this really has a lot to give for those who are looking for a great performing phone at the mid-range level. Next, let's talk about the display. I think the display is one of its main highlights. Now, sadly, I hate to break it to you, but this doesn't have an AMOLED display, but it does have a 120Hz display. If you've been watching my channel and you've watched a few of my videos, I'm not really the biggest advocate of 120Hz on phones. And the number one reason for that is that it just adds to the cost of the phone. Also, it doesn't really add to any performance boost. But with the Poco X3 priced at 10,990 pesos, I mean, I don't have any reason to not recommend a 120Hz display anymore. If they become this cheap and affordable at the mid-range level, this is crazy and this is insane. Now, mind you, this won't have the perfect display. As you can see here, I'm comparing it side by side with an AMOLED display, and somehow the display on the Poco X3 seems kind of dull and washed out. And I've actually changed the color scheme on this and changed it to saturated, but this is the maximum saturation that I got. But I would just like to point out as well that with the Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra and the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro side-by-side video display that I tested, the display on the Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra also looked kind of dull, similar to the Poco X3. So the color is kind of dull. They're not as punchy as I'd like them to be for a casual phone, for a phone that is meant to be for everyone. I don't know, maybe it's just my unit, because I actually asked another reviewer, Chris from Crisis Point, and he said that his was too punchy. But that doesn't mean it's a bad display. It's actually a really good display. It looks very fluid at 120 Hz. And the nice thing is that if you don't like 120 Hz, you can lower it down to 60 Hz to save on battery life. So enjoy these visually stunning images that I'm showing right now. These are directly straight from the Poco X3 display. Now, I'm not sure if this translates perfectly to YouTube video, but they really look nice in person. Now let's talk camera on the Poco X3. This is equipped with a Sony IMX686 camera sensor. So it's another 64 megapixel camera from the Poco line. They actually take great photos. They're not gonna be the best looking photos, of course, but here are some camera samples, and I'll try to include a Google Drive link where you can see the full resolution of the photos. But yeah, enjoy this quick montage of camera samples from the Poco X3. Right, so those were the camera samples I was able to get on the Poco X3. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section as usual. Because we now have its slightly upgraded version. This is the Realme C12, and in this video we're gonna find out that this is actually a great option for those who have very limited budget. Now let's move on to something that's really exciting about the Poco X3, and that is the gaming performance. So again, this is equipped with a Snapdragon 732G processor, and I can definitely tell you that it performs really good when it comes to gaming. Now, it's not gonna give you flagship performance, of course. You're gonna be stuck with mostly 30 frames per second on all of the games that you play. But the nice thing is that you can adjust the graphical settings on the games that you play to high or very high. So I was able to test this on the usual suspects, that is Mobile Legends, PUBG, and Call of Duty. And I also tested this on Black Desert Online, and it performed really well. I had no frame drops. But again, you have to take note that you're stuck with around 30 frames per second. So you're not gonna be able to reach 60 frames per second on this, because this is again a mid-range device. But the beautiful thing on the Poco X3 is that after several hours of playing on this, it never heated up on me. The highest temperature that I was able to get on this was around 38 degrees Celsius, as compared to around 40 or 41 degrees on the Poco X3. X2. So that is a huge improvement when it comes to the cooling on this device as compared to its predecessor, the Poco X2. Moving on, let's quickly discuss the battery life on this. At 5,160 milliamp hours of battery, you're gonna be able to use this for a full day with a mix of gaming, with a mix of watching videos on YouTube or Netflix. This has a great battery life, and the nice thing about this is that it has a 33-watt fast charging. Usually at this price range, you'll only get around 18 watts of fast charging. But the Poco X3 already has 33 watts of fast charging. I can't wait to talk about my final thoughts on this. And that is where we're going right now. Why is this the new mid-range king? Number one is the freaking crazy price that this has. At 10,990 pesos, it's insane. When I found out about its price, I went bonkers. I told my friends who also had the Poco X3 that this is gonna be the mid-range king. Hands down, no one's gonna beat the price and the performance and the value that you get from this. I mean, let's be real here, guys. If we're gonna talk value, you get the performance of the Redmi Note 9 Pro, you get the value of a headphone jack, you get a USB Type-C with a 33-watt fast charging, an expandable memory card slot. On top of that, you get 120 Hz of refresh rate. Oh, and by the way, why don't we slap a 64 megapixel camera on this? Right? That's crazy. And then we also have an infrared blaster. You don't have to listen to me talking more about this phone. Just go ahead and pre-order, get your order on this. This is the new mid-range king. And this is not some bullshit talk. This is not me talking out of my ass. This is real talk. This is crazy because I don't know. I'm out of words with this phone. And with that said, oh my god, Poco and Xiaomi, you have disrupted the market. The mid-range segment is forever disrupted in this 2020. I'm out of words, guys. And I'm rarely out of words. I have a lot of words to say. But this time I'm out of words because this is just such a great phone. And anyone who's looking for a phone right now, go get it. This is the mid-range king. If you want to argue with me, go. Let's go argue in the comment section. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button so you can watch more videos like this in the future. That's it for today, guys. Keep safe and have a great day.